Hey guys, Mark Williams here with T3 Training out of Longmont, Colorado. I'm the chief instructor for all carbine and pistol courses. Today we're out at our ranch, which is not in Longmont. It's about an hour north near Raymer, Colorado. We got 7,000 acres up here in this beautiful ranch, and we're just using one of 7-8 ranges that we have at your disposal. What we're going to be doing today is a quick video on some shooting drills you can do with steel or without. You can see behind me over my left or right shoulder. I don't know what you can really see at. I got 3 steel plates. I'm only going to focus on 3 steel plates. Why? Because a lot of people can't afford 200 pieces of steel like we have out here. Additionally, it doesn't take a lot of area to conduct these drills, and tersely or thirdly, with only 3 pieces of steel, I'm going to show you probably 5 or 6 drills you can do at your own pace and leisure, at your gun club, at a training facility, or as an instructor, teach it to your students. Let's talk about safety real quick. First and foremost, whenever shooting with steel, we always want to make sure we have proper personal equipment or protective equipment on. Eye protection, that's ballistic. Ear protection, if you want to wear long sleeve shirts or 3/4 sleeve shirts, that's completely up to you. Also, you need to establish for your rated steel that you're shooting at minimum safe distances for specific calibers. So if you're shooting a 5.56, you may want to consider that 25 meters or 25 yards depending on your protocol, and perhaps a 9mm pistol cartridge at 10 yards. I can't speak for you as far as safety, but for our facility, the 10 and 25 rule respectfully are our protocols. If you have a 308 or higher, it's 50 yards. That's really important when you're shooting with friends and loved ones. The last thing we want to do is have a potential ricochet and it's getting somebody hurt. At 25 yards, where I'm currently standing and will be shooting from today, there's a possibility I could feel splatter. That's a little bit of splashback from the fragment that will impact my skin. Generally, it won't break it or cause too much damage, but that's something to expect when you're shooting at steel even this close. Additionally, from there, you got to follow all 3, 4, or 5 safety rules. Whoever you're familiar with, whether it's the NRA, military, law enforcement, or some type of third-party entity, always follow those safety rules. I'm out here on 7,000 acres of controlled property. It's just me out here with a camera on a tripod. I've already done the safety checks. I've ran the back area. I know that it's all clear. So without further ado, I think we'll get started on a couple carbine essential techniques we teach in our class, teach our alumni, and want to pass on to you right now in this YouTube video. Thank you. Alright, so I've had to cut about 6 times now between the weather and the wind and the rain, and you not being able to hear me and the gun running dry when I only had 1 magazine on my body. We'll try this again. We just kind of demonstrated the 1 through 3 drill, or target 1, target 2, target 3 drill, which is really good for multiple acquisition, for getting used to having to shoot at several targets, as well as indexing to the 2nd or 3rd target, whether it's to your left or right. Now we're going to talk about cadence with a little bit of time. And what we generally see as good shot groups for beginner, intermediate, and advanced shooters. So we're going to start out, we're going to try to do about a 2-second cadence. I got a random shot clock here that will start anywhere from 2 seconds to 2.5. And this is a cadence we like to see most beginning shooters start at. That's safe and effective. You can work from that point on. So let's go ahead and get started. Shot clock goes. I'm going to go ahead and start shooting. Once again, just a reminder, we're from the ready position. My eyes are looking over the threat and we're snapping 2. Here we go. Okay, scan and assess at the end, 181. So you can see there, that's a pretty good time we'd like to see a beginning shooter have. Obviously, if you can't go that fast, don't push yourself to be unsafe. Now we're going to transition to about an intermediate shooter. We like to see anywhere from a second and a quarter to a second and a half. A little bit faster cadence, a little bit better trigger work. Here we go. Okay, we're at 137. 137 is a good time. I'd be proud with that time as an instructor. Now we're going to see and challenge ourselves and see if we can go any faster and get a second or around there, which we'd expect from an experienced shooter at 25 yards with a carbine, 1 power, without parallax. Here we go. All right, 0.92. So 0.92 is a really good time to have. 100% hits. Good transitions between each one, really good cadence. If we look at our cadence between that, we're at about 0.3 seconds. So between each shot, I'm at 1/3 of a second. For an intermediate shooter, we're looking at about a half a second, 0.50. And for a beginning shooter, about 0.75 or 3/4 of a second. It's a really great benchmark you can begin with. Now that you've seen this drill and you can start forming your opinions about where you stand within this, keep in mind if it's going to be too difficult for you, make the targets bigger, move a little bit closer and use paper. If it's not hard enough for you and you want to be challenged even more, get smaller targets, widen the interval, and change your positions. Once again, this is the T3 1 through 3 drill. Really good for diagnosing and kind of working on multiple target acquisition, trigger work, cadence, and search and assess, all of that good stuff. I don't think I'm going to get too many more drills in because the wind's getting to be a little bit of an annoyance for you and me as a cameraman and a demonstrator up here. I'm going to try one more drill and we'll get the next on another video. So let me reset and we'll go from there. So we just focused on the 1 through 3 drill. Now we're going to work up to another drill. This is called the 1 through 5 multiple shot, multiple target drill. I'm not sure who the top level instructor was that created this, but I know one of them did. If I know, I'll give him credit for it. But this drill is really good for multiple reasons. As a general shooter, and what we see most of the time at static indoor ranges or outdoors, we get in the habit of shooting one round at a time, resetting and working our way from there, much like the drill before. Additionally, most places that teach shooting protocol for CCW as well as military law enforcement, we get in this really bad pattern of only shooting 2-shot groups, also known as a control pair or failure drill. The Army, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Navy, they all use that protocol, and it gets us in a habit of thinking we can only shoot 2 shots in a rhythm or in a cadence until that threat's done. So we'll see this continue up, 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 up. The issue with that is that's slow, it's inefficient, and it may not work all the time. What I see from a lot of my CCW students is they come to the facility, they bring the guns up, whether it's pistol or carbine, and they focus on 2 shots. The gun goes back down and they rework that 2 shots. It instills really bad muscle memory habits for deadly engagement, which potentially could happen any second after that drill is completed throughout their life. What this 1 through 5 multiple target, multiple acquisition drill does is it teaches us to break that habit and learn to work through those problems. So the drill's set up with the same as it was before, 3 IPSC full-size targets, metered or intervaled at 1 meter or just over 1 yard. And what this drill is going to call for is we're going to shoot 5 different shot groups in the same stage. So we're going to start on T1 or on the left and shoot 1 shot. We're going to move to T2 or the middle target, we're going to shoot 2 shots. We're going to move to T3 or the right target, shoot 3. Go back to T2 for 4, and finally finish off on T1 for a total of 5. This entire stage of fire is 15 rounds. It's working on tons of different dynamics. Multiple targets, multiple cadences, working on movement with going from left to right, working on if I miss a shot and I have auditory exclusion and I don't understand that, or maybe I pick up on it, we generally see a lot of shooters fumble through that. This will help learn it. What you need to remember is, as CCW, military, and law enforcement, we have an extremely high regard for round accountability. Anything you discharge is your fault. If it misses your intended target, you're the one that's going to pay the penalty for that. The problem with that is we sometimes get too focused on that, and then when we have drills like this, we're hitting, miss. Oh shit, I just missed. Now I need to go back and fix that problem. It slows us down and it makes it very disaggregated. So we're going to try to work through that. I'm going to only do this drill twice because the weather's coming in, and then we'll close shop and we'll come back out another day to finish it up. So we're going to do the first drill at a basic shooter's pace. This is what I would expect somebody that's brand new to my Carbine Essentials course to attempt to do. We'll see what the times look like and we'll go from there. So let me get my shot clock and we'll get started. Alright, so I just got my shot clock. It's on the 2-second random interval starter, and we'll try this drill. Remember, it's the 1 through 5 multiple target, multiple acquisition drill. T1, 1, T2, 2, T3, 3, T2, 4, T1, 5 for a total of 15 rounds. We're going to start left and go right. We'll do it nice and slow. 15 rounds in the magazine, no more, no less. Here we go. Scan and assess at the end as always. We're at 8.30 seconds, 8.30. That's actually a little bit faster from what we generally like to see basic shooters at. We like to have basic shooters at the 10 to 12 second mark. We're working on shooting again and again and again, and that's very new to a lot of people. Additionally, what we don't want to see is shooters who walk into this and we hear the double bump cadence. So I'm going to demonstrate this on target 3 so you can see what we don't want to hear. This is what we call a cadence of control pairs or a cadence of hammer pairs. We advise against this. Up. Okay, so that would be something we continue to hear through this drill. Remember, consistent cadence, bump, 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 all the way through the drill. I'm going to go ahead and reload my magazine. We're going to do this at a faster cadence of what we'd expect an experienced shooter to go ahead and hit it with. Here we go. All right, said to go back and reload my magazine. I, again, want to assure you guys, whether I'm teaching a class on video, whatever the case is, we don't try to bullshit with students, nor do we do it with anybody. If we miss the target, we miss the target. I don't want you to think that stuff here. I wouldn't double tape a video or anything like that. I hope that integrity is there. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start with the 1 through 5 multiple target, multiple acquisition drill and do it at an advanced pace. We'll see how we do. If you hear a miss, hopefully you should see from me that I just work right through that accounted miss. We never want to do that as police officers, military, CCW, but for a drill for this intent and purpose, that's what we're working to mitigate. So we'll try this again. Random shot clock set for 2 to 2.5 seconds to start. The previous time was 8 seconds. We like to see a beginning shooter in 10 to 12, an advanced shooter half that. So let's go ahead and see how we're doing here. Scan and assess at the end. Time there was 4.73 seconds, no misses, 100% hits. If we go back to our shot cadence, let's talk a little bit about that. On average, it looks like we're about 0.19 to 2 seconds between each shot, and we're about a half a second between the transitions. And that's where we get to our 5-second point of time there, which was actually 4.73. You should have heard there was very consistent speeds throughout the entire drill. As the drill went faster with more rounds, you heard the cadence go a little bit faster. We try to avoid that, but that's a human instinct. Additionally, as we go through that drill and we're assessing the fact that we're really doing well in hitting, we get a little bit more confident and continue to work through that. The issue through that spike or that parabellum is that apex is if I miss. There's that dramatic lull and that next shot taking because I've just processed, I've missed, how do I fix it very rapidly? So that's the 1 through 5 drill. It requires 15 rounds. You can do it on this style of target here or any other type of target that may be considered very close to this. Excellent drill to do. Once again, why are we doing this? It works on multiple targets, shooting cadences, looking at different sight pictures a lot, working on messing up and fixing up when I mess up. Tons of really applicable things for a CCW or a carbine shooter. Once again, as I said earlier, all of these drills can be completed with a pistol or with a carbine. It's your call and what you're looking to do. So the next drill we're going to do is one of my favorites, and unfortunately, it's one of the most difficult to get really good at. It's one shot, and it's with a timer. You can do it for carbine or pistol, but I will say the times I'm going to give you, we don't expect you to supersede that with a pistol and carbine at the same token because they're 2 different platforms and 2 different ways we deploy. The next drill is a one-shot drill, and it's from an unsuspected position and an unsuspecting threat. Oftentimes what we see in law enforcement, military, and even in CCW is a lot of threats come from when we're not necessarily ready for them. We always conduct drills where we're ready to go with the gun up in the ready position or the pistols in the alert position. But how often do we ever conduct drills where, oh shit, there's a threat, now I need to deploy and neutralize it? Well, that's what this drill is going to do. We're going to set our shot clock to do a 2-second random interval. Our gun's going to be against our chest in the safe and hung position with my hand on the pistol grip, just like so. When the shot clock goes off from 25 yards, I'm going to engage one of the 3 threats, which is a full-size IPSC target, and I want to see how fast I can do it. This is really applicable to being on a base, to being in an AAP, whatever the case may be. It's really important that we think of this. For CCW, obviously you wouldn't be pulling around a carbine, but you'd certainly have a pistol. You can do the same drill. I probably wouldn't suggest 25 yards, maybe 10 or 7. Really good to do because we never know when we're going to find ourselves potentially in that standing position where we're not even suspecting a threat, and all of a sudden a knife is shown, a gun is shown, and the deadly situation ensues from there. And finally, with police officers, when we're in that kind of conversation mode, or we're trying to talk to somebody and we're in our aggressive stance, there you go, it's the same situation. So I'm going to turn around, set my shot clock. The gun is loaded and chambered. All I need to do is switch it on hot and tug away at the trigger, and we'll see how we do. .90 seconds, .90 seconds. It's a lot faster with the carbine than it is with the pistol. We'll try that again. .04, 1.04. So that's after I'm warmed up, and that's about as quick as I can go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the target. We'll try it one final time on a different target. .89, so that's my fastest time today. With a pistol, we like to see really advanced shooters in the 1 to 1.15 second time frame. For non-advanced pistol shooters, we like to be in the 2-second time frame. Another thing to remember here is this is a really good drill to conduct at the beginning of your range day. When we get to the range, we get our pistol out, we start warming up, we get our sight picture and our muscle memory back. That's cheating when it comes to a drill like this. We need to be cool, unsuspected, just ready to basically laying and waiting. So I'd really suggest you do this drill as the first drill of the day, and then continue it after chow or after lunch, and then maybe after dinner or at another slow time. So once again, that's the unsuspecting by one shot. It can be done at 25 yards or in, as long as your range safety officers and steel targets accommodate that. You can switch to paper and do it as well. You just need a shot clock. The next drill we're going to do is similar to the previous drill you just looked at, which is the unsuspecting by one shot. Now we're going to do the unsuspecting by 2 with the primary and secondary rifle. Is it really applicable that you would be unsuspecting of a threat engaging you? Start with your primary rifle, it goes down immediately, you switch to your pistol. Highly unlikely. What it does do though is it teaches us mechanics of going from a carbine deployment to a draw stroke with a pistol, and incredible amounts of stress because we're trying to beat our best time. How we do this drill is we start from the low, safe and hung position. My hand is on the pistol grip as well as just resting kind of on the forend. I take one shot at one target at 25 yards with an IPSC, followed by a well-aimed shot with my pistol. Now keep in mind I'm at 25 yards, as you can see, so a pistol shot in rapid succession is going to be quite difficult here. Because of that, and I have discipline to know my own skill level, you're going to see a little bit slower shot pairing here between the rifle and the pistol because of that. What you can alternate though is you can put paper up and maybe move a little bit closer to be a little bit more realistic. 15 yards with the carbine and 15 yards with the pistol is a little bit more doable. So once again, this is the unsuspecting transition drill between a primary and secondary or carbine and pistol. 2 shots, 1 shot from each gun. Go ahead and load and make ready in both, just like you'd be on post in a CCW situation without the carbine, or a law enforcement officer on the beat, or if you're deployed as a SWAT team with your carbine ready to go. Okay, so I got both guns ready. We're going to go on a 2-second random interval starter. Once again, shot from the primary carbine, second shot from my secondary pistol. Here we go. All right, so right there, we're going to redo that because I bumped my my shot clock with my carbine, so it gave me a wrong time. Let's go ahead and set that back up again. Here we go. Same drill. Okay, 3.08, 3.08. What you couldn't see there that we really encourage at T3 is putting the firearm on safe during the transition. Many will say, well, Mark, when are we going to ever do a transition with a gun that's not empty or malfunctioned? You're absolutely right there. But the consideration to have is if my safety is attempted to go on, and it will go on, that verifies I'm probably out of ammunition. If I attempt to put the safety on, it will not go on. That will generally verify I have a stoppage with the gun. That lets us have the mental precursor to know after the pistol has been deployed and used, my carbine is either really screwed up or it can be fixed quite quickly. That's a motor muscle memory response we teach to our students. That's a very high level skill to obtain, but really powerful once you do. We're going to go a little bit faster this time and see what we can do as a more experienced level. Once again, one shot carbine followed by one shot of a pistol, unsuspecting, just from a stand and pose like this. Here we go. Okay, 2.75. So what is that? Almost a half a second, a quarter of a second faster. Once again, I'm at 25 yards with the pistol and a full lipstick. A little bit difficult to get that shot picture sight alignment. Let's try it one final time and see if we can break that. Okay, 2.70. I beat it by a fifth of a second. Not much at all. So there you have it. That's the 1x1 unsuspecting drill from primary to secondary. Really nice drill to do. It just gets you working, gets you moving. It's pretty dang fun. My name's Mark Williams. I'm the chief instructor of all carbine and pistol operations with T3 Trigger Time Training out of Longmont, Colorado. You can find us at our website, www.t3main.com. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, obviously. I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment. I really try to get back to any legitimate questions there are, and I try not to pay attention to the malarkey that will ensue as well. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll be speaking to you soon. Thanks.